Ooh, this family is coming to Canada. Awesome. And they have some questions about Canadian healthcare. So in this video, I'm going to try to answer their questions. Hey, if you're new to my channel, welcome here. I have lots of videos for newcomers to Canada, so I'd be so happy if you subscribe to my channel right down there. Okay, so their first question is, will we have free healthcare immediately when we arrive? Now, unfortunately, the answer is no. Unless you are a refugee or in some other special circumstances, then you might have free healthcare, but usually you have to wait a few months to be able to get on free healthcare. So you should definitely have some form of insurance from your country or from somewhere when you come to Canada to cover your first few months of being here. Okay, so usually it takes several months for you to get your healthcare card. Okay, now healthcare in Canada is a provincial matter. Okay, so it's not like Canadian healthcare, like one thing. It's governed by the provinces. So every province is a little bit different. Okay, so ultimately you want to get a personal healthcare card like this one, and you'll take this anytime you go to a hospital or to a clinic or anytime you're dealing with the healthcare system. It's good to keep your card, it's only about this big, it's good to keep it in your wallet at all times in case you need it. Okay, so this is an example of what the Alberta healthcare card looks like. I have one just like this because I am an Alberta resident. Okay, so their next question is, does Canada have free healthcare? Now, that's a very good question. A lot of people think healthcare in Canada is free. Well, sort of. It depends on the province, okay? So in most provinces, there are no premiums. A premium is the amount of money you pay, like the monthly fee you pay for insurance. So like your car insurance premium, your health insurance premium. Okay, so it's like a monthly bill. Most provinces don't have any form of sort of a premium, except BC, British Columbia, does have a premium. Now, if you make less than $26,000 a year, then you don't have to pay anything. But if you make more than $26,000, then you have to pay anywhere from $11 a month all the way up to $37 a month. Okay, and Ontario is sort of similar. If you make less than $20,000, it's going to be free, but if you make more than $20,000, then your annual fee for health insurance is going to be anywhere from $60 to $900 a year. That's not per month, okay? And that comes right off your paycheck in Ontario. So it's a little bit different than in BC. In BC, you actually pay it like a bill. Here it comes off your paycheck. And so most people will probably end up paying about $40 a month in Ontario for their healthcare. Okay, so the next question, what is included in the insurance? Another great question. Okay, so basically everything that takes place in a hospital or a clinic is free. It's covered, okay? Checkups, tests, surgeries, it's all covered. If you want to see a doctor, if you want to see a specialist, that's all covered in your healthcare. So you don't need to worry about that. Now, some things are not included. Okay, like eye care, that's not included. Dental, that's not included. Things like physiotherapy or massage therapy or acupuncture, those things are not included. Medicine, now your prescription drugs, that's also not included. Now, prescription drugs in Canada, they're not too expensive, but you still have to pay for them unless you have a job that covers these things. Very often, companies will give benefits to their employees that cover most of these things. So it's great if you can get a job that would give you benefits in those areas. Now, you might also have to pay your doctor for some sort of a form or like a sick note. Very often doctors will charge people to write sick notes for their work, like $10, $20. Okay. Now vaccinations, I mean, you'll probably have to pay for those as well. If you're traveling to another country, if you're going off to some crazy country and you need some shots, you might have to pay for those out of pocket. Out of pocket means you pay yourself. It's not covered. Okay, so here's the next question. Does my provincial insurance cover all of Canada? Yes, it does. Great. So you can travel anywhere in Canada and your healthcare, even though it's provincial, it still works in all of Canada. Okay, so you can go to any hospital or clinics. Now, some clinics might charge you up front. Upfront means right away. But in that case, you keep your receipt and you send that receipt to your province, and then your province reimburses you the money for that appointment or whatever you had done there. Now, that won't happen at major hospitals or clinics. In my experience, that's never happened, but I know it can happen. So if you want to know about that, I mean, that would be a really big inconvenience. It's a hassle to take your receipt, send it. I don't know how long it would take for you to get your money back. Okay, so if that's the case, you could just ask them, I'm from out of province. Do I have to pay anything? Okay, so you just walk into the clinic and you'd say, hi, I'm from out of province. Do I have to pay anything to see a doctor here at your clinic? And they'll probably say, no, we bill the province directly. Okay, so here's the next question. How long do I have to wait to receive treatment in Canada? Now, this is the bad news. It can be very frustrating. I mean, the Canadian healthcare system has a very good reputation around the world, but to be honest with you, it's not perfect, and it can be really frustrating with long wait times, okay? How long will you have to wait to see a doctor if you go to a hospital? So if you go to a hospital and you want to see a doctor, then you have to go to the emergency part of the hospital, and you might have to wait for 5 hours, 10 hours. Okay, it's really, really frustrating. It's really bad. If you go to a walk-in clinic, it probably won't be that long. It might be 1 or 2 hours. Ideally, you should try to find a family doctor and then just book an appointment to see your doctor. Then hopefully you won't have to wait at all. Okay, so from the time you see the doctor, if he refers you to a specialist, that is also a very long time. That can take months. It could take like 6 months, even a year, okay, to see a specialist, depending on what the specialist is or what area, you need to see. And then from that point, if you need to get tests, that can also be several more months after that. Now, for simple tests like blood tests or urine tests, you can just do those right away. If you go to a hospital, they'll just do that right there. But if you go to a walk-in clinic, and then they'll send you to a lab, that's a place where they do the blood tests, urine tests, stool tests, okay? So that might just be a few days, maybe a week at the most. I've never waited, I think, more than a week to get those kind of tests. But if you want to get like a brain scan, an MRI, that could take months and months to wait for that kind of a test, okay? And then to get surgery, I mean, it depends on the type of surgery, but you might be waiting, 4 or 5 months, maybe even longer for surgery, okay? So it can be really, really frustrating when you want to get treatment, but you have to wait. That's why medical tourism is, I think, becoming more popular. People fly to Mexico or fly to the Philippines and get treatment there because it's just taking so long to get anything done here that it's just makes sense to fly over to one of those countries that have really cheap healthcare and get anything they need done over there, all kinds of different surgeries. And those countries like Philippines, Mexico, Colombia, India have great doctors as well. So, I mean, that's a really good option that a lot of Canadians choose as well. But like I said, it's free here. You just have to go through the frustration of waiting for it. Okay, so emergency services. That is free. Like if you get into a car accident or something, here in Canada we have great emergency services, helicopter, ambulances, and stuff like that. So you'll probably be okay here in Canada. But if you call an ambulance to your house, it'll cost anywhere from $50 to $300, depending on where you are in Canada. Okay, now there are lots of locations. That's a really nice thing about the Canadian healthcare system. Most cities have at least 2 or 3 big hospitals. Like Calgary has 3 major hospitals, lots of different clinics, walk-in clinics or clinics that you have to book an appointment, to go. So you're going to get healthcare in Canada. You might just have to wait for a while, which can be frustrating. But hey, that's just part of the system. It's not a perfect system, so try to be patient with the Canadian system. Hopefully it improves in the next few years. Okay, so I want to know, how does Canadian healthcare compare to the healthcare in your country? Is it better? Is it worse? Longer wait times, shorter wait times, better doctors, worse doctors? Let me know what you think down there in the comments, and I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.